All right. Hey guys, thanks. Welcome. Fireside Chats with Eric Coffee. It says here the question of today. I'm interested in selling products to the U.S. federal government. I've been doing federal contracting as a career, so now I know the federal bidding process, that's great news. What I'm looking to learn is how to convince a manufacturer to allow me to resell or distribute their products. How do I go about doing this? As a brand new company without any performance history, no financial history, and no knowledge of their products to this point, it seems very much of an uphill battle, but I know it can be done because there are tons of other companies already doing this. Great question. It's a two-part question, so let's get to it. How do I convince a manufacturer to allow me to resell or distribute their products? Every manufacturer in the world has resellers. So they already have distributors in place and they have resellers. All you have to do is find out what that program looks like and see how you can participate in that program. So again, it's not a matter of convincing them because part of being a manufacturer, there has to be distribution, right? So that's par for the course. So to me, what I would do is I would find out what does their reseller program looks like and what does the distributorship look like and what are those requirements. Let's assume that you've already done that and you found out that they have resellers in there. Now, what I've seen a couple things is depending upon the product it is, there are some manufacturers that already have resellers that are providing those products to the government. Because since the government is such a large buyer of goods and services, it would it would behoove me to think that they're not already doing that. Okay, now, not to say that you can't do it, but for the most part, I would bet that they're already doing it. Now, the advantage that you do have is that because you know how to write the proposals and because you understand the federal procurement process, the people that are already doing this may find it troublesome. They may find it to be a headache. They may not do it well, or may not be successful at it. So again, I think that you could come in and using your background, your experience, and your knowledge, create an opportunity for yourself. Because I will say I have seen companies who their resellers, right, did not want to cater to the government because they had such a large private sector base that they didn't care to do work with the federal government. So that may be an advantage that you have that you can come in and you could take them into that marketplace if they were not already doing it, or you could improve upon the systems that they have in place to doing that. The second part of the question says, I'm a brand new company without any performance history, no financial history, no knowledge of their products at this point. Well, so to me, I see that as a challenge. I mean, again, the financial history part is okay, the past performance part is okay, but no knowledge of their products to me seems to be a challenge because I don't know how or why someone would want to sell products that they had no knowledge of. Um, and the reason why I say that is because a couple things. One is in order to deliver something to the government, you're going to have to understand the performance specifications of it, whatever that looks like, right? Um, and not saying that you can't get that information because we all get our information from the distributors, but you've got to have somewhat of a knowledge of it in order to be able to ensure that you're giving them the right items. So again, I think for me, I would not want to put all my faith and trust in what the manufacturer is telling me, only because you're going to be stuck holding the bag at the end of the day. If something goes wrong and you deliver that, you're going to be stuck holding the bag. Now, again, I'm not asking you to understand the formulas that you use to create the vitamins that you're selling, but I would ask you to know the difference between 500 milliliters or 1,000 milliliters, or a difference between 1 gram versus 10 grams. Because if the government tells you that you've got to provide 500 milliliters and times so many capsules, uh, you should be able to recognize that depending upon the box sizes that they come in, that you order the right or the wrong stuff. Again, you could get around that by just being able to read the specifications, but that's a whole nother thing. Now, the no financial history and no knowledge of the products and a new company. Look, again, depending upon the company that you represent, I don't know if there's a requirement, a minimum requirement to become a distributor. That's something that you would have to find out. Now, I would say it's not what most people do is they make assumptions, right? So you're already assuming that because you don't have these things that you cannot be a distributor without actually going in and investigating that. I would tell everyone out there listening, go and actually investigate what are the requirements to become a reseller what are the requirements to get supplier credit. Again, on my previous videos on YouTube, I've shared with people getting supplier credit doesn't mean that you have to have actual financial past performance. Most of the time, what they've seen, all that they require is that you get references from other people that you've done business with in the past. So again, getting those references to me has nothing to do. It's not indicative of how much past performance that you have with that company, because again, you could have been doing business with them in another company in another form. So I would say to anyone out here listening to this, first of all, go and investigate. Find out what the requirements are first, because everything that you wrote down here are assumptions. They're not facts. You didn't say, I read over the distributor requirement form and it said I needed these things in place. That was not the question. So to me, what I'm saying is it seems like you're not even wanting to put yourself in an uncomfortable position to ask what the requirements are before making the assumption. So again, ask what those requirements are, what they look like, and then now you are better armed, aimed at what it takes to be able to overcome those challenges and hurdles. And let's assume that maybe they do have some of those requirements. Let's assume that they do say, okay, you're going to need some past performance history. Okay, then that tells me that you're going to have to go find out and work with a distributor or reseller who already has that stuff, and then you are the one that helps provide it to the government. So again, there's always workarounds, but you have to get the facts first before you even talk about what's the workaround. Hope this helps some people out there today. Thanks for watching as always.